Chinese state media says the remains of China's former Premier Li Keqiang will be cremated later this week. Li, who served in the role for a decade, died from a heart attack last Friday. In the announcement, he was declared, quote, an outstanding revolutionary, statesman, and leader. But official reaction to his death has been otherwise muted, contrasting with public displays of mourning. To find out more about the reaction to Li's death in China and what it says about the politics of the ruling Communist Party, our reporter Ed Moon spoke with David Bandurski, director of the China Media Project.
What has the official reaction to Li Keqiang's death been like, and how does it compare to the passing of former leaders such as Jiang Zemin last year?
I guess we could say there's no such thing as a private death when it comes to the Chinese Communist Party. So we've seen what we often see with leaders, including senior leaders who pass away, a very boilerplate language. But one thing we can really note is that he's been sidelined. So we had on the 27th, after his death, all we had was a very short, very terse Xinhua news agency announcement that ended with obituary forthcoming. And then the next day we had the obituary, which no really revealing details, just about him as kind of a faithful servant of the party. So definitely, deaths are always a sensitive matter. I think in this case, even more so because as China faces a lot of current economic pain, the former Premier Li Keqiang is associated with more pragmatic policymaking on the economy. And so to the extent he's seen as sidelined by Xi Jinping and by the kind of cult of personality of Xi Jinping, this is a really sensitive current political issue for the party.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how media in China is used to memorialize leaders? Is it a top-down process, or is it up to individual publications to decide how they want to proceed?
This is definitely a top-down matter. There is no discretion for the official party state media, and there's no discretion certainly for the other media, for commercial media, which are still in China linked to the party. But again, we didn't really see much coverage at all in other news websites and portals. It was very downplayed. And this is probably because there were orders from the top, we can surmise, about being very cautious in how it's treated.
Among the Chinese public, there's been mourning for Li, both on social media sites and at various other locations around the country. Can you tell us why there's been such a contrast between the muted official reaction and the public displays of mourning?
Sometimes, in retrospect, leaders who have died become much more lovable after they've passed. So there's a kind of, I guess the point is that it becomes an opportunity for ordinary Chinese, if they're upset or if they want to voice their the problems they might have with the leadership and so on. It becomes an opportunity, and the leadership knows this, and this is why it controls it so carefully. But because there's such an interest in controlling the public opinion, sort of in top down on this sensitive issue or moment of Li Keqiang's death, there is, of course, an aggressive attempt to contain any sort of speculation about Li Keqiang's death. For example, on Weibo, and try to search for Li Keqiang, it's generally quite a sanitized thread.
That was David Bandurski from the China Media Project speaking to Ed Moon.